Good afternoon, Shareef.
Yeah, hi there. Right. Today we are going to learn about directory structure. Okay, and what we learn here is for every instance of SQL Server, a separate directory structure will be created. So usually you'll find like this drive. In that you'll find program files. In that you'll find Microsoft SQL Server / MS SQL, your version, followed by instance ID / MS SQL. Bas. In that you'll have subfolders. So you can say from here till this location, till this location. You call this as home location of SQL Server. Yes. What do you call? Home location of SQL Server. Doesn't matter whether it is you have installed for default or you have installed for named instance. Okay. Now, in these subfolders, you will have one backup, one folder. They have one more bin, one more subfolder. / we have something called data. We have something called FT data. We have something called install. You have a folder called what else you have? IJ job. Then KL log. Right? LMNOPQR. We have something called REPL data. RASTU. Upgrade. Yes. Alphabetical order. I try to put these folders. Okay. And what do you find? Backup. You can say it is a default location for backup files for the databases in the instance. The word is default location. If you're not interested to keep your backup in this folder, you can even alter it. You can have your own folder to work as backup. Or you can use network folder to keep a backup in another machine instead of keeping a backup in the same machine where database is available. You can, that's left to you. Yes. And then bin. It contains .exe and .dll files used by instance. Then data. It is a default location of data and log file of the database in instance. Then FT data. It contains script used by the full text search service. Install will contain, it contains something called script files. Difference, you have these files with .sql extension. .sql extension. It is a default location of SQL Server jobs. Depending on the topic, relevant folder will come into usage. On that day, I'll explain you how these folders will help you to do the process. Yeah, these are called, remember always, bin I said, na, bin, binaries. These are called binaries. EXE and DLL, both are executable files. Both are. DLL is dynamic link library. Okay, DLLs and EXE, both are executables, provided a connection is that .dll will run through a support of EXE. But it is also executable. You understand? What do you call them as? SQL Server binaries. Binaries. Executable files. Okay? Both files will be provided with what? Execution. Log. This is clear, Anthony? Did you understand? So log. Log is, it is a default location of error log file, which can be used for troubleshooting errors. And REPL data, it is a default location of the articles used in snapshot or replication. Anything is used in replication. Default location of the articles used in what? Replication, right? And upgrade is, it contains the upgradation scripts. Thus, these are the folders that are available by default in every instance that you install in SQL Server. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you have to keep your files only in these folders. No, not necessary. These are the folders which Microsoft has provided. These are the folders which Microsoft has provided. But not necessary that you all should work only with these folders. So backup folder, you can change to your required folder. Data folder, you can change to your required folder, right? REPL data, you can change to your required folder. Log also, you can change to your required folder. But that bin folder and what do you call FT data folder, install folder, whatever the files they contain, those are fixed only. Those are fixed. I mean to say, some are customized, some are not customized. That is what I mean. Some are customized and some are not customized.
So, Sheriff,
Yeah.
the server directory and the path, what are in the,
Uh-huh.
it can be changing, right? Whenever they're in the real time. The
Possible.
organization, it will be changing, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct. Path will change. Something you would find which is common for real-time and practice environment is the folders what I listed.
Okay.
Backup folder, bin folder, data folder, these are fixed only. That will not change. Any version you install, you are provided with the same folders.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, coming to another point that is called services in SQL Server. And remember what service, how do you define a service? Define service. You can say a service is a long running program. Long running program which takes request and gives response. Yes. And what do you find? Yes, when SQL Server is installed, it creates some services in the system. Yes. What are they? Yes, one is called instance aware service. And second is instance unaware services. Two types will be there. Instance aware service, instance unaware service. Two types. And what is the difference? Yeah, this is the difference that you could find. Especially in a scenario when I say instance aware service, it means these are created once for each instance installed. Yes. And another special. Each instance is provided with instance ID. Right? And these are the instance aware services. Following are the instance aware services. That includes 1. SQL Server service. Second, SQL Server Agent service. And third, SQL Server Full Text service. Yes. And even you have SQL Server reporting services, and even you have SQL Server analysis services. Yes. And for all of them, you will be provided by instance ID. You are provided with what? Instance ID. For default instance bracket, you want to see according to our example. If it is default instance, it's written like this. MS SQL Server everywhere here. SQL Server Full Text Service. SQL Server Reporting Service. SQL Server Analysis Service. Yes. Both I'll write. This is for default instance and this is for named instance. And for default instance, after each service, you can find here in brackets, MS SQL Server. After each, here it is written, server 1. Yes. Server 1. Yes. Same will be there. Same. Copy. And here it is written like server 1, server 1, server 1, server 1, server. Yes. With that, you identify that these are the services which instance is aware of. You want to check them? Yeah, go for it. SQL Server Manager 12.msc. Yes, you check here. Here. You'll get a list now. In that list, you see.
For the named instance, we have only three.
Yeah,
SQL
three only
Server.
I have. You see, SQL Server, Server 1. SQL Server Agent, Server 1. And SQL Server Reporting Services, Server 1. But I didn't install. I didn't install what? Analysis Server. I didn't install full text server. I didn't install. You understand?
No, maybe. See, for default instance, you have multiple services.
Yeah.
I think you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Whereas for named instance, you have only 3.
3 I have. 3.
Yeah. So
Server 1, agent.
So these are the
Server
default
1,
one, or
SQL
we are the
Server 1 report.
No, these are the default by created by SQL, or we creating this?
No. MS SQL Server is the default. Default in the sense I only installed that also. But name is default. That MS SQL Server is the default name of the instance.
Okay.
Server 1 also myself only installed, but that is a name given by me. And okay. I installed database server and I have installed a reporting server. Only 2 servers I have installed. Analysis server I didn't install.
Okay.
I didn't install. I wantedly skipped that installation.
Okay. But my previous class, my understanding is, we just go and install the SQL version in the system, and by default, this all will be created in the backend.
Yes.
We never done any installation from our side.
Come again.
So the services we never install from our side. We only install the instance.
Yeah. Yes. That is what when you
completed,
install,
then backend it will be all these services will be created.
Yes, exactly. Correct. Your understanding is correct. Same thing is happening.
Then why there is difference between server 1 and default?
Because during installation, it will give you checkboxes.
Okay.
In that you can make a choice.
Oh, got it.
Which servers you want you install, which servers you don't want, ignore it.
Okay, then.
So in that regard, I default instance, I have installed full software for default instance in my machine.
Okay, got it.
Full software I have, changed.
Okay, I got it.
Whereas for named instance, what I did, I have installed only that reporting server, database server, analysis server, I didn't install.
Got it.
That was the point. And even you see, not only analysis server, full text also I didn't install. Full text daemon launcher, one service is that also I didn't install. That is only default instance, it's available. For named instance, you don't find that. It means I didn't install. I wantedly ignored it. Okay. Yeah. Anthony, you have any questions on this part? You can go ahead, please. If not, I'll continue with my next part then. Anthony. Indrani, what about you? You have any questions on this? Okay, Anthony. That's fine. Okay. Right. Indrani, am I audible to you? Okay. You have any queries, Indrani?
No, sir.
Okay,
No,
that's
sir.
fine. Right. Okay. Now I'll make a list of instance unaware services. And the speciality that you would find is these services are created only once in a machine. Once in a machine. Which are independent of instance. These services are also called what? Shared services. These services will provide only name. Instance ID will not be beside them. Instance ID will not be beside them. You understand? And these are some of the services. Following are instance unaware services. Unaware service. In that first service is integration service. SQL Server integration service. Second. Achha, you want to see there? Yes, you check. You can understand that. Integration service is there, but beside it, you don't find instance ID. Check integration service. Now you can find that integration service, but beside it, you don't find. Here, can you see this? SQL Server Integration Services 12.0, but instance name is not there beside it. Integration services. Yeah. One more is there, you see, one more. Here, one more is there. SQL Server Browser. SQL Server Browser. Even there is no instance ID beside it. Yeah. So that is second you can call. SQL Server Browser. One more service. But one more is there which doesn't show you here. It doesn't show you here. Acha, you want to see that also? Okay. Go to services of OS. OS services you open. Yes, come down. Here, can you see this? SQL Server VSS Writer. This was not showing there. Let me talk on this also. SQL Server VSS Writer. VSS Writer. You understand? First to remember, it is Windows service. Windows service. Windows service created for SQL Server. Like this you can say. It is a Windows service created for SQL Server. You understand? Created for SQL Server to perform backup and restore options using VSS volume and shadow service VSS. Yes. Integration services, SQL Server browser service. Right? And one more will be there. This we may not be available actually. Let's see. Go there. Here it's not visible. What is the service called? I'll read the name. SQL Active Directory Helper Service. You don't find here. SQL Active Directory. Yeah, can you see here? You see Active Directory. Definitely you don't find here. Here also you don't find Active Directory. Check. Here all services are there, but Active Directory we don't have because this is purely Windows Server service. What is the name I said? SQL Active Directory, helper, service. It is also Windows service. Which, better I call Windows Server Service, I call. Windows Server OS is, it is Windows Server Service. What it will do? Yes, which allows the SQL queries to integrate with, yes, I'll write the name, Windows Active Directory. Yes. These are your, what do you call? Instance unaware service. Instance unaware services. Right. And when it comes to the last part, you call system requirements. First thing, operating system, and make sure on this first. For practice purpose, when you install SQL Server, I mean to say on a single machine, standalone, any Windows OS is fine. Any Windows OS is fine. But in real time, when you're doing this, compulsory Windows 2003 or Windows 2008 server OS is needed. Windows 2003, Windows 2008 server OS is required. Asha, what about clients? Yeah, clients can be any. Clients can be on any OS, Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11. Even a client can be Windows, this one also. Even Linux, Unix, they can also be a client. RAM, minimum. Now, it was like older version, like even if you have 2 GB, it used to support. But since then, we are going with some advanced versions. So definitely your focus should be on RAM, which should be around, or you can call it greater than 4 GB. RAM should be greater than 4 GB. Hard disk. Compulsory. You should have at least more than 6 GB. And from the 6 GB, 1 GB will go. 1 GB will be used for DB engine out of 6 GB. Processor. 2 gigahertz. 2 gigahertz is recommended. And along with all these, most important point, I'll write better. That as first point. What is it? Compulsory. You should have .NET Framework 3.5. Must needed before installation of SQL Server. Without it, you can't go further. Without it. So installation mein, next class mein, I'm going to talk on installation. On that topic, I'll get back to you.
Okay. So Shareef, what is the difference between the operating system and clients?
No. Operating system, when I say, I'm talking about Windows Server OS.
You mean that so client means it's our
Client
own
means like,
standalone.
actually, when I say this, you with the client and server, when I say easy to identify is this one. Easy to identify. What do you call server? SQL server is installed in a server machine. SQL server will be installed in a server machine, and clients will be given only tool. They are given only tool. And clients will communicate to server where SQL Server software is available, and they're going to do the process there. You understand?
I'm trying.
Yeah. Go for it. Shall I give you an idea? Best idea? One second. I'll just draw a small picture, and then I'll get back to your query. I've read your query. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll get back to you. I'll just explain you that. This is server machine. Okay. In that first layer, say for example, you have Windows Server OS. On this, you have installed SQL Server software. Two things. Yeah. And these are all clients. Client 1, client 2, client 3, client 4, client 5, client 6. And clients, server, you see, server is containing SQL Server software. Clients will not contain SQL Server software. These are all clients now. I'll name them. Client 1, client 2, client 3, client 4, client 5, client 6. Yes, these are all clients. Client 1, client 2, client 3, client 4, client 5, client 6. Yes. All of them are connected to this server. This is connected to server. Client 1 is connected to server. Client 2 is connected to server. Client 3 is connected to server. Client 4 is connected to server. Client 6 is connected to the server. Yes. What OS they have? Yes, they have tool installed for them. Only tool, not SQL Server software. And one is on Windows 7. One is working from Windows 8. Everyone has a tool. Client 1 tool, client 5 tool, client 2 tool, client 3 tool, client 4 tool. Which tool? That is what Management Studio. Windows 7. Client 1 is installed with Windows 7. Client 2 is containing Windows 8. Client 5 is containing Linux. Client 4 is containing Windows 10. And client 6 is containing Windows 11. And this is containing Unix. Yeah. Now, Uday, are you clear with this?
Almost,
Yeah.
but yes. I'm just trying to connect how I can connect to my individual system. So, for example, I'm owning my laptop where I can install the SQL. Okay. In that case, my system would be SQL Server database. It's a Windows server.
No, one second. This is network. environment. Okay, now I'll talk on. We are talking about our laptop.
Yeah.
Right. If it is your laptop, the approach is like this. This is standalone system. Here you can have any Windows OS. Any Windows OS. This architecture is client server architecture. This is client server architecture. And here any OS, and what do we have? Yes, you install SQL Server software. You install even tools. All in one. All in one.
Okay, I got it now. So for the network environment, you mean to actually you are just show me how the server is connected to the tools, like a front-end application.
Acha, how it is connected? Okay. Like one second. I'll show you that. Open Management Studio once. I'll show you. And now assume you are in a network environment to that. You are in network environment.
Okay.
Right? You are sitting in some floor of your office, and your server is in some other floor of your office. So you have Windows 10 available in you. You have Windows 10 available and you want to connect to server now. So we go here, click, browse for more, here, network servers. Local servers, because mine is local. I have single system. Mine is local server, 2 instances I have. And if you're connecting with in your client server environment, you will be working as client. At that time, you don't have local server. Your SQL server is not installed in your machine. SQL server is installed in a network server. When you click on this, obviously here it will show me the same now, because both are same for me. So this itself is client, this itself is server for me.
Okay.
But for you, you'll get your server name here, server name. You have to select that server name and you have to connect.
Okay, got it.
But for us now, since we are talking about single machine, this single system itself is a client. This single system itself is a server for me. It's like client server both in same machine. Comfortable?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Yeah, and let me answer this query. Are you going to teach performance tuning and how to resolve CPU issue in real time? Because there are issues I faced. No problem. That is what we have, no? That is what we have. Performance. Yes, we have a topic. Performance tuning, monitoring, troubleshooting is one separate topic. We will study. We have that. Yes. And one more thing, let me just give you an idea also here. This is for your knowledge. Now, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Whether 3.5 is installed or not. .NET 3.5 is installed or not. That you have to, because it's compulsory, I said. Compulsory. Or even without knowing, without a knowledge on that .NET Framework 3.5. If you just started installation, definitely in the installation part, somewhere at one step, it will ask you .NET 3.5 available or not. It will check there. If it is not there itself, it will terminate your installation. Go to CMD, dir percentage, win directory percentage. Here it's there or not? No, 1 second. dir percentage windir percentage slash Microsoft.net slash framework, enter. Should show 3.5. Here it is. Version 3.5. Because I'm going and searching where in .NET folder here. Windows, Microsoft.NET framework. Here it should show version 3.5 available for me. Available. If this is not available, first you have to install this. Another approach also we have. Okay, I'll show you that approach also. This is one way, no? Second way I'll show you. Second way. Second way, oh, no, not here. You open control panel. I'll show you another way. Open control panel. Where it is? Programs. Program features on or off. Right? And here it is. .NET Framework 3.5 includes .NET 2.0 and 3.0. Yes, this is installed. This is another way to check. If this is not there, you cannot go with further installation. Remember both the techniques, please. Did you understand the first technique, what I used? Here I said dir, command prompt process I'm saying, dir percentage win directory percentage slash Microsoft.NET slash framework, enter. Yes, version 3.5. 3.5. That's it. Yes.